What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, Big Dog Brett. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today, we're going to be talking about the quarterback situation or lack thereof when it comes to the UGA, and is it a destination for quarterbacks now? I mean, to me, it's really starting to look like it might be. So, I'm I'm more and more inclined to believe that Georgia has really kind of rounded the corner uh, when it comes to the whole quarterback situation. Really, it's actually kind of nice. Before, Georgia was always kind of wondering, what it was going to do with the quarterback situation, and now it seems like Georgia's kind of figured it out. So I'm thinking about painting this wall black, but I don't know yet. So we'll figure that out later. But yeah. So I hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's doing great on this wonderful Saturday morning, or 20 for some of you guys. Yeah. So, will Georgia be able to stay on? I would absolutely say red. Oh God, I don't know if I can do red. Maybe red and black because I have a tendency to like red and black, so we'll go with that. But yeah. So one of the things I'm going to do is we're gonna kind of wait a few minutes, see if we can get some more people to jump on here, and I'm sure we will. We always do. But we're going to go through the list of quarterbacks. We're going to go all the way back to David Green era, and then we'll come forward, kind of go through those. We'll talk about we just landed a 4-star and we just landed a 5-star. We'll get into that as well. Gray would look good. Gray would look good. I think Gray would look good. Hang on one second. So the quarterback situation at Georgia, I don't know, probably since Aaron Murray left, has been, we'll just say, a spot of contention, maybe, for a lot of UGA fans, because a lot of UGA fans really weren't feeling it, if that makes sense. So, trying to get some stuff figured out here. I think that's got it. There, I think we're good now. So, looking at quarterbacks going all the way back for a while, Slate Gray, that might be interesting too. That might be interesting. Now you've got I brought up a topic I probably shouldn't have brought up. Now I got to figure out what I'm going to do. Let me turn this cup around here. Yes, I drink coffee all day. Absolutely. So, quarterback situation. If we go all the way back to 2001, that was when David Green was on the scene. He got UGA a 2002 championship, SEC championship title. And then we had DJ Shockley for a couple of years. He got us a championship title in 05. And then Joe Turinsky, he graduated, moved on. And then we had probably one of the biggest names in not just college football, but also NFL football, in Matt Stafford. And we're going to talk about Matt Stafford a little bit more in a little bit, because we're going to compare him to a guy that Georgia just got signed, and I'm going to show him to you guys. It's almost black. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. So, let's see. Hang on, stand by. Getting information. Hot off the presses here. Matt Stafford, I mean, he's current QB at the Los Angeles Rams. If you ever watch Matt Stafford play, my goodness, he had a huge arm. And so he is really kind of the modern day example that we point to at UGA for somebody that has a big arm. Jacob Eason had a big arm too, but he just wasn't very Jacob Eason. So we were blessed with Matt Stafford in 06 to 08. And then we had Joe Cox. And Joe Cox was there in 6 and in 9. Then we had Aaron Murray, and Aaron Murray is SEC career passing yards leader. Once he left, man, we suffered for a little while. We had Hudson Mason, Grayson Lambert, and Fatan Bauta. In his very first start, he threw 4 interceptions. Fatan Bauta did. Then we had Jacob Eason for a couple of years. Jacob Eason transfers, goes out to Washington. And then we get Jake Fromm. And Jake Fromm got us to a national championship game, but we lost that game. But to be fair to Jake Fromm, that really wasn't his fault that we lost that game, right? But in the years after, he really regressed in capability level. So what we've really seen is, hold on here. Let's see if I can make this a little better for you guys. Notice if I actually turn on the lighting and stuff that I have, right? Oh, I haven't worn this hat in a while, so now it's all wrinkly. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. We'll make it happen. So when we're looking at some of this other stuff on here, Jake Fromm, we started off excited, and then the prospect, and while this was going on, this is kind of where UGA's quarterback issues kind of came to the surface, I guess, to the national media. After having Matt Stafford and Aaron Murray, those were honestly, those were kind of anomalies for UGA. UGA was not known for getting great quarterbacks. We weren't. We really weren't. And so here in the recent years, we have really kind of seen a change in a trend in Kirby Smart trying to go after and find top quality quarterbacks. We thought we had something in Jake Fromm. We had Justin Fields sitting on the bench. We really couldn't do much with him. And so Justin Fields transfers to Ohio State and absolutely balls out, right? He was just throwing the ball everywhere, doing everything. He looked incredible. Man, Justin Fields was an elite talent. It was the highest, and I think still is, the highest ranked recruit UGA has ever picked up. Then, because we were trying to figure out what to do, this is the quarterback position, we ended up picking up DeJuan Mathis. And DeJuan Mathis was actually a very highly rated recruited player. Comes to UGA, started the first game in 2020, and then was benched. And then he ends up transferring to Temple. Like, it just didn't work out. So then Stetson Bennett comes in, and his first year, him and JT Daniels was kind of going back and forth. JT Daniels was a highly recruited 5-star recruit, but he was kind of a glass cannon. He really was a quality, accurate quarterback, but he's just made out of glass, dude. He seems to constantly stay injured. You know what? I'm going to check right now. Geez, how many places has this guy been, man? I mean, December 1st of 2023. So I know that he had. I've got to look him up, dude. I think he ended up at Rice. And normally I would be able to kind of name this right off, but this guy, okay, went to the USC Trojans, and he was there for 18-19. Then he came to UGA, and he was there for 2021. And then he went from there to the West Virginia Mountaineers, and then he transferred from there to the Rice Owls. So he's in 5 years, he was on 4 different teams: 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 6 years. 6 years, a COVID year. Wow, super senior. Jeez. He medically retired from football after sustaining multiple concussions during his career. What are you going to do? You know? Yeah, you may be right there. What's up, DSA? Yeah, Bryce Young hasn't done well in the NFL, but it is what it is. So DeJuan Mathis left, JT Daniels left, Stetson Bennett steps in, wins 2 titles back to back. Then last year, we didn't quite get there with Carson Beck, but Carson Beck is currently a Heisman frontrunner, according to some places. One of them's ESPN, I believe. So there's multiple different places out there that are pointing at the quality that UGA is recruiting at and putting on the field. So one of those recruiting things is Georgia picked up Justin Fields. So that was a highly rated recruit. JT Daniels was a highly rated recruit. Carson Beck was a highly rated recruit. Then we've got we've got Brock Vandergriff, who was one of the second or either third place in his class. I think he was right behind Arch Manning. Which I don't know. We can have a conversation about Arch Manning being number one. Promise you, I am not impressed. Brock Vandergriff sits behind Carson Beck. That's not going to work out for him. He transfers to Kentucky. Then Georgia. Now we're just talking about the plethora of QBs, top quality QBs that UGA has picked up in just the past few years. I don't think enough people's talking about it. You're talking about Carson Beck, JT Daniels, Justin Fields, but really right here in the recent one, you've got Brock Vandergriff, Gunnar Stockton, what's his name? Transferred out to Nebraska. Dylan Raiola. And then you've got Ryan Puglisi. And now you've got Ryan Montgomery and another guy's name. Hang on here. My brain is not braining today. Let's see. So, in addition to UGA going out there and picking up brand new elite talent all over the field through not just development, but through the transfer portal as well. Ryan Puglisi, I need to go up a year. I'm a year down. 2025. So it's 2025 and 2026. I think Ryan Montgomery is 2026. Let me see if I can find this guy. Yeah, no, Ryan Montgomery is 2025. He's currently rated at 4 stars. He might be able to get to 5 stars. But if we go to 2026, Jared Curtis, he's also currently a 4-star. But it depends on which sites you look at. Some's going to say 5, some's going to say 6. Rashada looking to come. That's another one. So there's a lot of talent that's coming to UGA. And you got to ask yourself, where's all this? Why is all this talent wanting to come to UGA at the quarterback position? Why aren't they going? Well, recruiting is not a problem at UGA, sir. You're right. But quarterback recruiting traditionally has been. So this is kind of a new turn in the past 3-4 years. So what is the big factor that has changed this, that has allowed UGA to recruit top quality quarterbacks? And why do top quality quarterbacks want to come to Georgia? Anybody want to take a guess? I'll go ahead and tell you why. I'll go ahead and tell you exactly why. His name is Stetson Bennett. That's why. Everybody looked at that and said, if they can take a walk-on and turn him into a back-to-back national championship contender, and then you can learn behind the likes of Carson Beck, you're going to have Gunnar Stockton, which, by the way, even though I can't get Brooks Austin to come join one of my shows, he's a busy guy. He's a great guy. Go watch his film breakdown of Ryan Puglisi and Dylan Raiola, and it will show you, excuse me, it will show you some huge benefits as to why Ryan Puglisi is actually better at the quarterback position than Dylan Raiola for what Georgia does. Yeah, O-line recruiting has been great. Kirby Smart has turned UGA into a quarterback recruiting school. It has taken him a little while to get that quality that he's been after. But, man, if you look at here at the recent dates, how well he's been able to recruit quarterbacks, it's nothing short of impressive. It's nothing short of dumbfounding because, I mean, many other YouTubers, myself included, have said, why would you come to Georgia if you're a 5-star quarterback? Georgia doesn't have good quarterbacks. We just don't. And I think that was one of the reasons why Georgia was such a run heavy team for such a long time. Mark Richt was known for trying to pound the rock. And after years of not being able to get quality quarterbacks, Kirby Smart made it his mission. Should have kept Brock. We couldn't keep Brock. The reason we couldn't keep Brock was because Brock would have to sit another year behind Carson Beck in order just to play, because Carson Beck was going to play this year. The reason but this goes back to Stetson. So Stetson played and won a national championship. Well, you can't take him out of the loop. He won a national championship. He, at one point in that game, right after he threw that interception, he comes right down the field the next time and scores a touchdown. I mean, he put that team on his back. He didn't fold up. He didn't cry. I think after that interception, he went something like was it 6 for 6, and goes down the field and gets a touchdown, the go ahead touchdown. Excuse me, and I may be mistaken, but he gets to go ahead touchdown. But when the season rolls back around, it's like you can't take that guy out. And here's something I'll do. I'll challenge you guys. Anybody who still has a negative opinion about Stetson Bennett, go back and watch his highlights for the last season that he played at UGA, and honestly ask yourself whether you're grading him on the fact that he's Stetson Bennett, or are you grading him on just watching him as if he didn't have a name on his jersey. You will be surprised. Even I was surprised when I went back and watched. I went, wow, he really was better than I gave him credit for. And I gave him a lot of credit there at the end, and he was still better than that. Kentucky got themselves a good one. They did. So Stetson Bennett stays, right? So once Stetson Bennett stays, that means Carson Beck has to sit out another year. Well, if you're the backup quarterback at Georgia, and you've been there as long as Carson Beck has been, you don't transfer, because in all likelihood, you are not going to get a starting role on a team that you're familiar with a coaching staff you're familiar with in the SEC. Carson Beck was out there absolutely killing it last year. And so he came back another year, not because he couldn't have went to the draft, but because NFL scouting and the draft, they really want to see about 25 starts. It gives them a real good feel, warm and fuzzy feeling for how they think you're going to react in the game, how you're going to, what kind of investments you're going to be, because NFL rosters are way smaller than college rosters. So they only have so much room. So they have to make sure whoever they're putting on their roster is somebody who's going to perform. So that means he's got to get a whole another season. Well, guess what? That puts Brock Vandagriff in the same boat, except Brock Vandagriff, if he would have sat out this season, I won't say it's not possible. I just don't think it's very likely that he would have been able to stay 2 years. And I think it's because of eligibility reasons, because I think the COVID season thing goes away. So he needed to go somewhere that he was going to start. So whenever he transferred to Kentucky under the banner of, I need 25 starts. So Gunnar Stockton has an extra year. So that's perfect for Gunnar Stockton, because Gunnar Stockton can wait for Carson Beck to dip out. And then once Carson Beck dips out, he steps into the role, boom, off and away he goes. Now, that does leave a little bit of a gap behind him, but Georgia is already starting to fill those gaps. So behind Gunnar Stockton, and realistically, and for any quarterback who's thinking about becoming a quarterback at UGA, you really need to sit 2 years behind a quality college quarterback and learn, right? Beck sat behind Bennett, learned from Bennett, sat behind Bobo. He's learning the whole time he's there. So then you've got Gunnar Stockton, who's learning the system. Behind him is Ryan Puglisi. And then behind him, you've got Ryan Montgomery. Then behind him, you've got what's the new guy's name? I just said it. I can never remember this guy's name. Jared Curtis. Jeez. Bennett and Young stats were about the same in the Natty game. Yeah. Yeah, except the interception that Young threw late in the game was much more detrimental. And Bennett's taller, by the way. Thought I'd point that out. So anyway, when you're talking about UGA and you're talking about the quarterback position for years, it had been said Georgia just is not a quarterback school. Now it has. Georgia has become a college quarterback destination, in my opinion. I don't see how anybody could argue any differently. Um, and I mean, pretty much any way you look at it, if there is a recruit that Georgia says they want, they go get. Now there is a quarterback, Rashada. There's some talks about how he committed to I think it was Miami. And then he went from Miami. I think they offered him like they and this is all rumor. This is all speculation. This is just what I heard. I don't know if it's true, but it's what I heard. He went to Miami and was offered $8 million NIL, which is insane because Carson Beck's only getting like $1.5 million. Then I think somebody said Florida offered him 13 million, and then they couldn't get it figured out. And so now he's going to Arizona State because they were able to get that figured out. So that's just transfer quarterback stuff. But yeah, I mean, who knows? Yeah. So once the team starts recruiting quality QBs, someone will have to transfer or be patient and wait their turn. Yeah, and here's the thing. So some of these quarterbacks may come to Georgia. And this is something I was talking about with a friend of mine. Some of these quarterbacks may come to Georgia not because they ever think they're going to hit the field, but they come to Georgia because they get an opportunity to learn from like a guy like Carson Beck or Stetson Bennett when he was here, or Gunnar Stockton, because those guys have been in the system. So you've been there for a couple of 3 years. It's a great place to learn. So yeah. JC says, I don't get too high or low on a recruit anymore. With the transfer portal rules, they have to play right now with minimum regulation. That player can bolt for any reason. I'm glad you brought that up. So when you're talking about quarterbacks and players that are going to leave the program, this is one of the things that makes Kirby Smart's recruiting so elite. Kirby Smart looks at these recruits and says, did he sit out his senior season? Oh, he did. Yeah, I don't want him on my team. So not only does Kirby Smart go out and recruit players, he actually looks at that particular player off the field performance. So he tries to avoid situations like this. Is that still going to happen? Yeah, that's still going to happen. I mean, it just is. But Kirby Smart and company are currently very in tune with trying to prevent that from being a factor. Because if you come to the very best in the country, it's highly unlikely you're going to start. Look at the running back room at Georgia. You got Branson Robinson. You got Robert Robinson. You got Andrew Paul was transferred. You got a bunch of guys. You got a bunch of guys that come in and they sit, even though they're truly elite. And here's the thing. So let's do this. Hold on. So I'm gonna pull up some images of Branson Robinson. Okay. Load. Okay. No, that's not the one I want. That's not it. Here we go. Here's a good one. All right. This is him. What? If you are a website that is supposed to be a sports news outlet and somebody clicks on your stuff and then you want to try and make them pay for a subscription, that's not helping your cause in today's day and age. There's too much free data out there, guys. Okay, maybe this will work. We'll try. See if I can share image here. Share present. Share screen. This one. Yes, this one. All right. So this was Branson Robinson. This was Branson Robinson his freshman year. Freshman year. You don't think he hadn't put on some weight since then? And by the way, if you don't recognize this uniform, this is the Max Reps uniform or whatever it's called, rivalry or something. I can't remember exactly. But this right here is camp. It's training camp. This is before he committed to UGA. You can't tell me that this guy isn't built like a train and ready to play day one. So when you're talking about having to wait behind somebody, think about what you have to say to a guy like this to get him to say, "Hey, you're gonna have to be okay sitting the bench," because this guy right here looks like he could run across America and knock over a bulldozer when he gets to the end. Like he's just built like a tank. So when you're talking about a guy like Branson Robinson, you absolutely have to believe that there is something that's going on in that conversation in the recruiting process that says, "Hey, you've got to wait your turn because we're going to teach you." JC says, even Kirby has been on video saying that with the transfer portal rule, sometimes he's not sure if he's going to be able to keep the roster to coach and or develop. He has said that, but I mean, how much of that's coach speak? I mean, you could be 100% right. They really need to put some kind of regulation on the transfer portal. I mean, it's out of control. I 100% agree. 100% agree. King Family says, good afternoon, Alabama fan here, but enjoy Brett's videos, so thought I'd jump on a live. I appreciate you being here, sir. Thank you so much. So really what we're talking about is UGA has developed a culture that is allowing them to recruit quality quarterbacks, and they are willing to sit their turn. And it's because Georgia, it's pretty much the go-to place now in the SEC. Now you can say, "Oh, Texas just came to the SEC." Don't dare say Oklahoma. Please don't say that and make me argue with you. Bama fans, we love Bama fans, but Nick Saban's not there anymore, so we don't know what we're going to get out of that. So we're going to have to wait and see. But if you look at the top coach in all of college football right now, it's Kirby Smart, and it's beyond a shadow of a doubt. And his ability to recruit quarterbacks has turned UGA into a top destination for quarterbacks, and it's going to continue to be so. All right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and jump off. We're going to call it a day. I got tons of stuff to do today. Having a celebration for our son today. We're having family over tomorrow. He starts his journey to being a soldier. He will be in the Army tomorrow. So we're excited for him. Congratulations, son. We love you. We wish you all the best, and I will be sending you lots of care packages so your drill sergeants and friends can enjoy them while you're in basic training. So thank you, guys. Bama will be fine. Their culture will be following, and their brand will carry them. Maybe. So, all right, guys, we really appreciate you jumping on. Thank you guys so much for being here. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share. I have to say that because the algorithm, like, it'll hear that. And if I don't say like, subscribe, and share, it will push you down. That's my belief. So in the algorithm. So yeah. It's like Kirby says, quarterbacks want to play at Georgia, and he ain't wrong. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day. God bless. Go Dogs.